Hi, in this video, we're going to continue talking about Axway Amplify Fusion deployments, and we're going to continue where we left off before, where we had this project, which basically exposed an API, and I versioned it to version 1, and then we clicked deploy and created a deploy job. So this is where we left off last time with this deployment job right here. And what I can do is I can edit it, I can delete it, or I can run it. So when I click run, this deployment job, which is the project hello deployment version 1, I can now deploy this to check or live. So let me deploy it to check, and this is our QA environment, and then I am going to run this. And it ran successfully, so that's great. Well, let's see what happened. So remember, if I'm in the designer and I come here, I can see that I have this new project I created because in the last video this had 11 and these both had 0. Now I've got 12 because I created a new hello deployment project and then I deployed it to check. So what we can do now is we can go into check. Notice the mode is now check, and I'm in the designer and I'm in my project. So one thing that's worth noting, if I come into my connector, my check credentials are empty. That's because when the developer was in design mode, let's come back here to design mode, when they were in design mode on hello deployment, when they created the connector, we just filled in the credentials for the design tab. Now, there's nothing stopping you from entering credentials for all 3 modes, but in general, a developer wouldn't have credentials to higher environments. So the best practice is to not fill these in. And instead, when we come into check for our deployed project, those credentials are not filled out, so I really can't run this. So if I try to enable this integration, it should fail because I have to acquire a lock. It should fail because there's no credentials for the integration. And it fails, unable to start because connection details are empty. So what we do is we use a connection override. So again, this would be someone like a deployment manager would come into a manager. They'd go into the environment and they'd go in check, they'd go into the details and click on projects. And here I only have one project in the check environment, and you go to actions and I see my one connection in my project. So I click on that, click on next, and what I want to do is I want to override the connection properties. Now, in a normal project integration, you have lots of connections, and someone would have to fill in the credentials for the QA backend systems for this integration. So this is going to be HTTPS, and we will use basic. And of course, it's not going to be the same credentials. Instead of ABCD, let's do EFGH, and instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, let's do 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, and of course Google doesn't like any of that, but that's fine, and I am done. So now when I go to the designer and I go and activate this integration, it can now run. And when I grab the URL and come into Postman, I'm going to create a new Postman call, and I want you to notice the URL. So here the URL has got design in it, and here the URL has got check in it. And of course this will fail, but if I come to authorization and do basic authorization, this will also fail because those are not the credentials in QA, but EFGH and 5, 6, 7, 8 are the credentials in my QA environment. Somehow I didn't clear that. And hello from V1. So what we just saw, now in the future, when I promote a project from, when I promote this project, which we'll do in the next video, I'll go to V2 and I'll promote it to check, you'll see that I do not need to do the connection overrides anymore. But in this video, we saw how to run a deployment job to promote a project from design to check, and then how to apply connection overrides at the environment level to that project. Thank you.